Hello, this is Doc Rock. Today, I wanted to talk to you about something I just picked up. Here's a brand new iPad Pro 12.5 inch. I'm going to get into not the unboxing, your traditional kind of videos, but I wanted to explain why I picked up this and also grabbed the new pencil, a couple of headphone jack dongles, which everyone absolutely hates, and the smart keyboard folio, whatever you want to call it. All right, so I was in the market for a new laptop, but I kind of had this concept that there might be a new iPad coming. One, the old model was a little long in the tooth. It was been October, the last couple years running, so I kind of thought Apple might drop one. So I was looking starting about the beginning of last month. It's time to replace my notebook. My notebook is an old 2012 MacBook Pro. There's a video I posted before about how to keep it up. I made it last all the way to now. I gotta say, it still works. I just have a sticky O key, which drives me insane. Since buying the iMac 5K that I'm recording this on now back in August, I find that I don't really use my notebook or MacBook Pro, safer terminology, for much more than a quick email or, looking up something when I'm watching TV. Maybe a little shopping or pay some bills, the basics. So as I watched the early reviews come in about the iPad Pro, there was a lot of kerfuffle about, is it going to replace a notebook? Can it replace a notebook? And you get it. Like, there's a certain understanding as to why this conversation always comes up for the last couple of years. Apple is definitely leaning towards taking the iPad Pro and moving it into the notebook replacement concept, but it's not fully baked. So the first question is, before you even start, if you're down with being an early adopter, don't ask yourself silly questions, knock yourself out. If you're not down with being an early adopter, then don't do it. But like the waffling back and forth is a little crazy. I am an early adopter, so I don't mind, but I will tell you why I chose to pick this over what the average person would use a laptop for. Most people, now if you're a content creator, this doesn't count for you. If you are a road warrior, salesperson or whatever, maybe this doesn't count for you either. But I deal with a lot of support for my friends and family and, small businesses that I've worked with throughout the years, all the way back since being a genius at Apple a few years back. What most people use their laptop for is email, web browsing, the occasional banging something out in your Word editor of choice, and maybe watching a metric S-ton of YouTube videos or live streams or things like that. And what I mean most people, I'm talking probably 60-70% of the population using a computer. Like, if this doesn't count for you, think about your mom and dad, like what they use for the computer. And I don't mean that to sound ageist, because as you can tell by the salt, I'm old myself. But what most people use a laptop for is simple communications. Nowadays, the number one camera on Flickr and SmugMug and things like that seems to be your iPhones and your Samsungs and, things like that. So if we're no longer needing it per se to put in the digital photos, because that's kind of sort of handled by your mobile device. Even I shoot on a Sony Alpha. I still import my photos directly to the iPad. I do a lot of my Lightroom adjustments and whatnot on the iPad. I sync those photos to the cloud and throw the rest away. If you're the kind of person that likes to just keep every photo you ever took, that's a whole different video. We'll get into that. So if you're taking photos with your phone and you're kind of sharing them to Insta or, FaceSpace or MyBook, whatever, and you're moving on from there, you don't really need a computer for that. If you're just paying your bills and sending off the occasional letter and things like that, you don't need a full computer for that. And there's a person I follow on the internet, Federico Vitucci. He runs a very successful Mac technology blog, and he has been since like iPad Air, iPad only. And I always kind of scoffed at it, but more and more and more, having again a full class desktop now, I don't mess with my notebook that often. Oh, one more point before I forget. Sorry, I'm ADD, HD, RD, PhD, DND, and AA. So I just go all over the map, deal with it. One more key element, I think, is if I pick up the average person's notebook and I look at their hard drive, I've seen people with a 100 gig hard drive with 60 gigs left over. Like, they're really not using that computer for much more than banging out letters. And again, that accounts for a lot of people, even people running full-fledged businesses, but their business consists of emails, PDFs, and word processing. So all of the above doesn't really need a whole computer. Like, we are getting to that day where if you use your cloud services, you probably could live in the iPad alone. Now, as I watched all of the tech guys from CNN and The Verge and Engadget and name random YouTube tech nerd, all of them saying this is not going to replace your laptop. This is not going to replace your laptop. Well, because they're talking about it from a tech person standpoint. Talking about it from a general person standpoint, yeah, it kind of can. We live heavily in the cloud. If you have a desktop computer, something like an iMac and all-in-one, yeah, you totally can get an iPad Pro and replace your notebook. Number one, this processor is faster than almost every other notebook on the market, with the exception of the really high-end Pro laptops that are roughly the same price or more. If you're worried about storage, you could do something as crazy as get a 1 terabyte storage. No, I'm not going to want to write an entire book on this Smartfolio keyboard, but it has been done. And the keyboards will get better. You could also always, is USB-C, you could always plug in a full-size Mac keyboard to it. Probably with a hub, you could plug in the Mac keyboard and a monitor, like if you wanted to sit down once you got home and use it as a thing. Most USB accessories work. The only ones that don't work right now are, thumb drives, which it's a sticker, but it is something that Apple can update in software. So for instance, it doesn't work right now. If enough of us complain about it, and I don't mean complain on YouTube, I mean feedback at apple.com, you write a thing and say like, yo, Tim and the crew, I would really like to be able to plug a flash drive in to move data from a work computer to this iPad so I can do things at home a little bit more mobile. Maybe we'll get it. But with everyone of the tech writers goes, oh, it doesn't support USB flash storage. And that's just, Apple's reason for this and that. And USB flash storage is the number one way that vulnerabilities move in and out of computers. In other words, the virus word that we Mac people kind of don't worry about, but it's getting there. Most of the security vulnerabilities are flash drive related, so why make it worse? And again, even my flash drives, I barely use them now. I literally put things in iCloud documents and then I can grab them right on my phone seconds later. So if that was the case, you kind of don't need to do that either, right? Now, long and short of it, if it's going to be your only computer, maybe that doesn't fly. If you only are a document-oriented person or you're not a big creator, maybe it would fly. So in my particular case, this is going to replace a laptop for me. I'm not going to buy another MacBook Pro for now. Maybe I'll change my mind later. My last 3 trips, I just did 2 weeks in Japan. Prior to that, I was in Portland for 2 weeks. And prior to that, I was in Japan again for 2 weeks. And the last 3 trips, I did not take a computer. It felt good. Like, I've been carrying computers on trips all the time. And it's just heavy and bulky. And half the time you're having fun, so it sits in the hotel room, barely plugged in. I would want to watch a movie before I go to sleep, never even turn on a hotel TV, end up watching it on my iPad. So that's why, and I'll get into more details about, you know, how it works out for me, and I'll keep you posted. But like a brief overview, I think this is going to be the final point. If this is your second, right? Say you have an iMac like the one I'm recording on, or you have a desktop machine that you use or something of that nature, this definitely can replace a laptop. I think it can, especially if your stuff is text creation, emails, Word, Pages, Google Docs, you know, various things like that. You definitely can do it. You will need a keyboard, probably. Some people don't like typing on the screen. I do, actually. It doesn't bother me. But I bought this anyway because I wanted to give it a whirl. I'll probably change this out as soon as third-party stuff comes out. I'm talking to you, Logitech. I'm talking to you, Zag. They always make great keyboards. I'm hoping somebody comes up with something better than this. My only knock with this guy is if you go to apple.com and you watch what they do, when you're ready to put this over, you flip it around the back. And while you're flipping it, if you're holding your iPad, you switch hands, you're smashing keys. Johnny Ives used to be the king of design. I don't know what the hell he did with that one. The other thing that's going to drive me crazy, it has one viewing angle. When you set it up, it has one viewing angle. Don't understand that, but anyway, I bought it anyway. And the Apple Pencil, love the new concept of the Apple Pencil. I love the fact that you can just put it right on the side and let it charge and do its thing. So basically, I just wanted to give a quick overview, you know, not going to get heavy into the details. Oh, why did I buy 2 of these connectors? Because they're $10, and when I lose it, it'll probably be out of stock. So I just bought it back up. I know people hate dongles. Most of it can be done with Bluetooth. You know, I got the headphone jack because I use my iPad for DJ stuff. So we'll see how that works out. I will get deeper into it once I have a chance to unbox it and do my thing, get it all set up. But I just wanted to give a quick overview. And, you know, people say, is it worth the upgrade? Hell yeah. If your iPad is sitting around and you use your iPad to watch TV, forget about it. Stick what you got. If you like to draw on your iPad, if you use your iPad for documents and moving things around, it's going to be incredible. I will probably edit this video that I'm recording right now on this iPad. And then I'll save it to the computer and possibly remove the green for the chroma key. If not, if you see a video with a green background, that means I did it only in the iPad because Adobe Rush doesn't do chroma key. Anyway, I just want to throw that together. Special shout out to my whole girl, Raina Cash. She was the one that asked me to do this. So there you go, Rains. I definitely think it's worth the upgrade. And I hope, you know, I enjoy this. I will keep you posted. Give me a couple of days and I'll come back and talk about what it's like in hands first couple of days. Thank you for watching. Please, 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 please. There's a subscribe button up there. I really appreciate you pressing it. There's a like button down there. I appreciate you pressing that. Share this with your friends. If you have any questions, comments, or feedback, or want to tell me why you didn't jump, let me know in the comments. I'm out. Holla at your boy. This is Doc. You see me anywhere on the net at DOCROCK. I appreciate you. Peace.